involved in facilities management, healthcare facilities management. And I'd worked in, as group head of operations in the Lagoon Group, and then also in Critical Rescue International. They're all medical. And I decided to start offering it as a solution to, can you all hear me? Thank you. And I decided to start offering it as a solution to small hospitals so that we could grow operational service. And I was looking for a way of reaching out. And I didn't have anyone, I didn't know anyone. So I was looking through what are the different societies that represent the medical directors. Those are the people that run hospitals, the MDs. And I saw his name. He was then the president of the Guild of Medical Directors. So I reached out to him. I called his number. I told him what I wanted to do. And he gave me a platform. He had never known me. He had never met me. He just said, you think you can do this? Come. And it was the day I was doing the presentation that I met him. And so he has been someone who is very excited about growing talent, growing mind, growing people who are passionate about whatever you are passionate about. He's well-read. He can discuss any language under the sun. And so that's why I felt it was interesting that he now runs that Stress Management Institute, and he will make a good candidate to speak to us today. The second person that I'm going to be introducing, please, can you appreciate him with a round of applause? Thank you. The second person that I'm going to be announcing today is our very own. Well, the two of them are our very own. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this out here. I want to read, and please, with emphasis, brief citation of ESV Mrs. Patola Ajayi. Ma, please, could you remain upstanding? I said brief because of time. There's a few things I'm just going to mention. ESV Mrs. Olayinka Linda Patola Ajayi is a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, a fellow of the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, London, and an alumni of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru Jos, Plateau State. She has been in practice for over 33 years now and has been a versatile, diligent, and dedicated professional who has worked both in the private and public sector where she had acquired skills and experience. ESV Mrs. Patola Ajayi is currently the Director of Estate, Lagos State Ministry of Housing. Prior to her elevation to the position of the Director of Estate, she had served as Deputy Director, Lagos State Real Estate Transaction Department, LASRETRAD, Assistant Director, Estate Department, Lands Bureau, Chief Lands Officer at the Lagos State Valuation Office, Assistant Chief Lands Officer, Lands Bureau, Land Services Directorate, amongst others. And this is the paragraph I'm going to stop. ESV Mrs. Patola Ajayi Olayinka Linda also worked in private firm of Daniel & Associates from 1988 to 2000, where she rose to become manager in the Lagos State branch, which she started based on her exemplary attitude, professionalism, and zeal for success after a national youth service corps at the firm. I am going to stop here, and I bid that we appreciate her and just welcome her with another round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, ESV Mrs. Patola Ajayi. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, please, could you remain upstanding while I introduce you to the house? ESV Omotola Ahamioje, a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. She is a graduate of Yaba College of Technology, Yaba, Lagos, and she started her professional career with the firm of Adebi Ishonaike & Co., and has worked with various estate firms, such as Adegbemile Agaga Akilo Soto & Co., then Fox & Co., Adefila Akinsomi Salako & Co., Ismail & Partners, and also worked with other primary mortgage institutions in the country. She is currently the managing partner of Oludemi Jagun Dosumu & Co., and she has served as a treasurer and unofficial member of the Lagos State branch of Niesv, that is our own great institution, and currently she is the Assistant Honorable National Treasurer. She is the first female certified facility manager in Nigeria, and she has over 30 years experience, and she's still acquiring more. As it is, she told me she's still doing 1 or 2 exams like that. She's happily married with children. Please make welcome Mrs. Tola Ahamioji. Thank you very much. Once again, for those who are just joining, I want to appreciate, I just seen one of our National Council members and past chairman of the Ogun State branch of the institution. Welcome, ma'am. So, ladies, and I want to say ladies and gentlemen, and all our noble colleagues here, we're going to start the program. Once again, remember I said it's interactive. Please have a pen and paper and take notes and be ready to ask questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a great pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. My dearly beloved friend and sister, and I'm not sure I should say daughter, because at 70 you could be my daughter. Adejumake, when she called me, I said, Jumake, you know I'll do anything for you. So what is it? And she told me. So I'm happy to be here. I have a short video to start with on how I feel about women and where you belong in society and in the world. And I think that will set the stage for what I'm about to share with you as women. So, Kusena, could I have my first video? I have to come closer. Okay, I see. Okay. So can we have the first, please? Nathaniel. Okay, volume.
You are beautiful. You are smart. You are funny. You are kind. You are unique. You are worthy of love and affection. You are never too much, and you are always enough. You are precious. You are a diamond, a rose, a pearl, the most stunning of all God's creation. You are worth more than you could ever imagine. Worth more than the numbers on the scale, or the hair product you use, or the shoes you wear. More than how many girls wish they were you, or how many guys wish they had you. More than the price tags on your clothes, or the percentage at the top of your math test, or even the number of followers you have on Twitter. Your worth surpasses all earthly things, because in the eyes of the Lord God, you are loved, and you are worth dying for. Regardless of who you think you are. Whether you model in a magazine, or you model pottery with grandma. Whether you're on the hot list or the not list. Whether you're head cheerleader or a high school dropout. Whether you're Miss Popular or you've never had anyone you could call a friend. Whether you love yourself and love your life, or you can't stand to look in the mirror and you feel as if everything in your life is falling apart. Whether you're such a winner or you feel like the world's biggest failure, regardless of who you think you are. The reality is that you deserve someone who would give up their life for you, because you are powerful and strong and capable. Read about the women in the Bible. Esther, Ruth, Martha, Mary. These women changed the world forever. And inside of you, each and every one of you is a woman with that same power and that same strength and that same world-changing capability. And your responsibility is to find that woman and to set that woman free. This is who you are. And any voices in your mind that try and tell you differently are from the enemy. And the next time you hear them, this is what you say. You say, "Nuh-uh, not me, Satan. I am a daughter of the living God, cherished, loved, and adored above all things by the Creator of all things for the glory of Him who is greater than all things. I am awesome." And please, don't you forget it.
Are there any dissenters to that video? Have we captured to some extent what women are in our lives? I was raised by 3 great women, my great-grandmother, my grandmother, and my mother. And so everything that was said here resonates with me. So without further ado, because the time is short, I would have stood on just the existing protocol, but I want to thank the president of the Institute for being here this morning, and to welcome everybody else. People at NIPS, Kuru, tell us that you don't say you stand on that's a wrong way to say that thing. All protocols observed, that's it. You rather say you stand on all existing protocols, which is what I've just done. So, my first slide, and I'm going to make this as fast as possible, and it's going to be interactive, just like Mrs. Akure told us. My first slide, Nathaniel. Okay, let's pass it on. That's me. I've been adequately introduced. Okay, I can do it myself, can I? Which way do I point? The screen, okay. Well, I'm not getting the response. I told you guys to work on this thing. And I want Nathaniel to cut off his head, and he wants his head cut off, truly. Okay, I'll just say next, please. Next. Okay, is that my next one? Is this working now? Or is just, is this working now? No, it's not. Okay, hello, excuse me. See if you can sort it out, please. Because I would like to change by myself so I can go faster. This is a question for you, like it was said by Mrs. Akure. It's going to be interactive. So who wants to tell us which of these could kill us faster? A cigarette, a chair, a burger, alcohol, or donut? I have a short video for you for that, and it will help you to see what exactly. So, Nathaniel, next video, please. Pretty good. Volume.
Health more than anything else. Alcohol, cigarettes, the donut, hamburger. Sure, they're all pretty bad for you, but most people know that and at least try to limit their intake somewhat to these items, even a little bit. But it's the things we don't think about that can really cause damage. Things we use every day so regularly we don't even think about how its constant use could actually be killing us. The real culprit is the chair. We were given legs for a reason. Most third world cultures don't even have chairs, and they walk an average of 10 miles a day. We in the modern world, on the other hand, spend most of our entire waking days sitting down. People go right from bed to sitting on the toilet, after which they sit at the breakfast table, then they sit in the car as they drive to work and spend the entire day sitting at a desk, only getting up to sit in the toilet and in the cafeteria. Then they sit in the car to drive and sit at the local bar for happy hour. Then when they've had enough of that, they go drive home and spend the rest of the day sitting in a comfortable chair watching TV before they crawl to bed to recover from all the physical exertion that day. And when people go out, they sit at a restaurant or a movie theater. Sitting all day is far worse for you than you might think. A 2010 American Cancer Society study following over 123,000 people from 1993 to 2016 found these alarming results. People who were inactive and sat for over 6 hours a day were 94% more likely to die during the time period studied than those who were physically active and sat less than 3 hours a day. That's almost 100%. And get this, findings were independent of physical activity levels. The negative effects of sitting were just as strong in people who exercised regularly. 60%, that's over half of employees surveyed, were convinced they would be more productive if they had the option to work on their feet. Medical experts have started referring to long periods of physical inactivity and its negative consequences as sitting disease. Below this video are links to an endless list of medical studies showing physical inactivity.
Was that a surprise? Hello? Let me start with the high table. Was that a surprise? The sitting disease. Are you aware of it? Did you see the percentages of people who die as a result of sitting? So most often we recommend now that at your desk in the office, let it be a high table where you can stand and write and type and do whatever you have to do. Limit the amount of time you spend on the chair. It is a killer. Hello? Much more disastrous than alcohol. Did you know that? Than cigarette smoking, than eating junk food like hamburgers and so on. So please, my message on this will be, please stand as often as you can. And before I end, I'm going to get everybody to stand for part of this lecture. Okay, quickly now, my three-legged stool. This tool shows you that what is very important. Oh, this is not very, okay. Pharmaceutical surgery and self-care are what you need. Now, you need pharmaceuticals, and a pharmacist, a doctor will prescribe for you, and you can take your drug and get well. But you're not a pharmacist, so you can't take care of yourself in that area. Surgery, even surgeons can't operate on themselves. I should know, I'm one. So, self-care is a place I really want to spend some time with you, briefly also. Healthy eating habits are crucial to maintaining and enjoying overall health, which is the top of the stool. And what is in that leg is that you eat right, you combine your food properly, and you eat at the appropriate time. And I'll cover that quickly because that's essential. Exercise. How many have exercised in the last 1 month? Let me be generous. Show by your hands. Yes, awesome. Whoa. Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. Is that because it's part of your job? To visit sites? Is that when you get the exercise, or you actually set time aside for exercise? Which is it? You set time. The voice that was loudest back there, what exercise did you do in the last 1 month? Okay. Some jogging. Do you do that with a bodyguard or you do it alone? Thank God. I'm too scared of jogging these days, so I do it indoors at home. Okay. Who else does anything astounding? Yes, ma'am. Aerobics. Awesome. Hey, music. Let's have some aerobic dance. There you go. Give her a round of applause. Yes, ma'am. The stairs, how many floors? Awesome, round of applause. That's cardio. That's a good cardio. Do you climb it like I do running, or do you take a step at a time? Sorry? Okay. Awesome. Well done. Okay, please keep it up, all of you and everybody. Exercise is crucial. It's so important, we can't underestimate it. How about sleep? Now, this is where I catch most professionals. How many of you sleep 8 hours a day at night? 8 hours, solid, from 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock to 6 a.m.? For where? Okay, how about 7 hours? 7 hours? Nobody? How about 6 hours? All right, about 50% of you sleep 6 hours. Okay, how about 5 hours? Okay. We're entering the trouble zone. How about 4 hours? That's all you get at night. 4 hours. 3 hours. You only sleep 3 hours at night. All right, fair enough. Please try to sleep 7 to 8 hours every night, because it's been shown that you could do everything right, but if you don't sleep enough, you can still drop dead. I repeat, sudden death syndrome has been linked to poor sleep. We have many stories to share, but one of the remarkable ones was of an Indian CEO at age 42 who did everything. He was a vegetarian, for crying out loud. He didn't eat red meat, he didn't eat others. He ate vegetables. He was a vegetarian through and through. You know what else? He was also a marathon runner. And he was a gym freak. He then missed out his time in the gym, and he had the right weight and everything else. But guess what was missing? Hello? Sleep. He confessed on television. He was interviewed and said, you know, yes, I do everything right, but I'm unable to sleep enough. He used to sleep for 3 hours at night. And suddenly, he dropped dead at 42. So please, if you remember nothing else, remember to sleep. So what next do we have? Belief system is absolutely important. People don't realize how important our spiritual conviction and spiritual life is to good health. Please, if you believe in God, believe in Him very strongly. Spirituality has a great part to play in our health. And guess what? Guess which institution endorsed it? Harvard University. Harvard University had a research on spirituality and healing in medicine, and had two groups of people who had serious surgery, CABG, coronary artery bypass graft, heart surgery, and they shared them into two. One group was prayed for, and the other was not prayed for by their own community of prayers, and so on. And at the end of the period of the research, the bond was broken to see which group did better post-operatively. Guess which group did better? Those prayed for or those not prayed for? Hello? Which group did better? Those that were prayed for or those that were not prayed for at surgery? Those that were prayed for. But how? What happened? Very simply, post-operatively, you need to use measurable endpoints to prove your point. They needed less pain medication, number one. They stayed fewer days in hospital and were discharged, number two. Number three, they had less wound infection than those that were not prayed for. Number four, first day post-operatively, they woke up, opened their eyes with a smile. They were relaxed, they were happy, they were, doctor, how did it go? Those who were not prayed for had a frown, stayed longer in hospital, needed more pain medication. They were always pressing the bell for more pain medication. And they had more wound infection. These are measurable endpoints that was replicable in other countries to prove that indeed there was a relationship between prayer and health. And Harvard endorsed it from that point onwards. It was sponsored by Sir John Templeton, by the way, you will know him, a multimillionaire. He gave $10 million to Harvard University to study this particular connection between health and prayer. And now at Harvard Medical School hospitals, there's always a church, a mosque, a synagogue, so that people can go in there and pray for whatever reason. So I strongly recommend that to you as well as part of your healthy well-being strategy. Relaxation. How many know how to relax? How many know how to relax? What do you do to relax? Don't tell me stab here. What do you do to relax? Gentlemen, what do you do to relax? You want them that it's interactive. Good. Good. So I'm coming to you. What do you do to relax? Sir. Your name, sir?
Babatunde is my name. I play with my wife. We have fun together. I ask her to wear her jeans, her knickerbocker. And we stay, we watch television. We play with our grandchildren. Because our own children, they are grown up, they are married. So we play what? We play Scrabble And there are times we share donut. And my granddaughter will say he wants to go and watch one channel, cartoon. And for the whole of that day, it's cartoon that we will watch in the house. And we will relax. So I will not watch my IIT, my channel, my NTA. So that's what we do, sir.
Round of applause for him. But you started us off on, we were like, okay. We didn't know to end with grandchildren. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. How do you relax? Don't look away. I'm coming to you. How do you relax?
Taking care of the kids.
All right. One more person. Akura. Yeah. Come here. You entered my trap. Here you go. Tell us, how do you relax?
I walk. I take walks. And I enjoy hanging around with children, playing with them and making fun.
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, because of time, I will have asked more people. Taking care of children is awesome. I now have a grandchild who is 1 year, 4 months old. They are just incredible minds. I think somebody should write a book on the spirituality of children. They are just simply incredible at the rate they observe you and repeat what you do. And so it's very important not to do things you don't want your children to repeat, either in language or in action. Hello? They are watching you closely. They are listening to you. When you say it, you thought that there are kids that didn't hear you. It's a lie. They'll tell mommy, but you said, and you go, what? You say, yes, mommy, you said it, and they'll tell you exactly where and time you said it, and you are done for.
Or do you actually relax with children?
You do. They are fun. I lie on the ground, I allow him to walk all over me. I follow them. That's my exercise. Yes, until they sleep, then I sleep. All right, so you need to relax. On food, the nutrition aspect, I have a concern with our Nigerian diet. A big concern. The pounded yam with egusi soup and gbegiri with amala. With amala and ewedu. It's fine, but not after 8 p.m. Many professionals will get home and madam has prepared it. They don't want it to waste. And so they will indulge that late and promptly go to bed. That is not acceptable. Then food combination, now this will shock most of you. As surveyors, you probably also did physics and chemistry and biology, right? So in chemistry, when I mix an acid with a base, what do I get? No, and the alkaline is a base. So when I mix an acid with an alkaline, what do I get? Salt and water. And when I eat my amala with gbegiri and meat and bokoto and all of that stuff, I'm mixing the starch or the carbohydrate with the protein, the meat and the bokoto and all of that. What does meat need to digest, acid or base? Acid. What does a pounded yam need to digest? Alkaline. So when the body senses you've eaten the big piece of meat, it secretes acid. And the next thing that follows it is pounded yam. It secretes base. And they do what? They neutralize. Does the meat get to be digested properly? It stays longer in the stomach and begins to rotten. You belch and it's awful. What happens to the carbohydrate? It also slows them because the medium that was supposed to digest them has been neutralized. So what happens to it? What happens when we soak corn for a long time or any carbohydrate? Sorry? It swells up and it does what here? It ferments. What is the process of fermentation? What does it produce? You become what? A moving brewery. You are NBL in motion because you are producing alcohol. You wake up and you're groggy, your head is not. So, what is the solution? Do not eat your meat and your carbohydrates at the same time. Hello? So, madam, ladies, families, please take note. Do not serve your husband pounded yam and bokoto at the same meal. Let him eat his pounded yam with the vegetable soup alone, no meat. Sorry, sir. And at night, give him his meat with the vegetables. It will digest fast, it will digest well, there will be no bloating, there will be no that feeling of that discomfort. Thank you, sir. Next slide. Okay, so we're done with this. Now pass, next please. Oh, this is working now, you said. Is it? It's still not. Okay, next please. Next. Quickly, as I was introduced, I'm a stress management consultant in addition to other things, but I do this almost full time now. So stress, what is stress? What is stress? Well, my definition, because of time, says stress results from the perception of a threat to either physical or psychological well-being, note the two, and the perception, not the word perception, that the individual's responses are inadequate to cope with it. In other words, briefly from this definition, if I was able to cope with the stressor, will there be stress? Excuse me? Yes or no? Exactly, no. So where does stress ensue? Where does it come from? It's when I am unable to cope with the stressor, then there is stress. But if I have the capacity, the energy, I'm prepared. Let me give you a bad example. Armed robbers. Armed robbers at your gate, and the Megad has had some way to identify and tell you, Oga, armed robbers are here, or they're carrying AK-47. What do? If you have registered your own bazooka, who knows bazooka? Aha, you say, let them in, and you are ready with your bazooka. You are not running anywhere, you're not hiding, you're not doing nothing. Let them break through that door and my bazooka will go like that. I'll be minimally stressed. But if all I have is a cutlass, what am I doing? Panicking, sweating, unable to cope. Everything is in a mess. You're just premium stress. So if you are able to cope with the stressor, another simple one, if you live in rented houses and the rent is due, and your children say, Mommy, 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 that man that comes once a year is here. And you get it straight away that the landlord is there. You say, yes, let him in, if the money is in the bank. You're smiling. You say, oh, welcome, Mr. Landlord. Would you like a cup of tea while I write your check? And it's a friendly interaction, no stress. But the money is not in the bank, and this is ABUJA landlord. He doesn't want to hear stories. You are sweating. You are under severe stress. Your pulse rate is high, your blood pressure is high, and you're most uncomfortable. So that is the way to look at stress. Next one, please, quickly. I have 5 more minutes. Good. Next slide, please. So we call this the fight or flight response. It is the body's reaction to a perceived threat. Adrenaline, a very powerful hormone, cortisol also, and steroids are released into the bloodstream. That is the thing that gets you ready to fight or to what? To run. If the stressor can be fought, you stand and fight. But if you cannot handle the stressor, you run for dear life. Okay? It creates a heightened state of alertness and readiness for self-defense. It's what stress, the fight or flight response is all about. Next, please. Quickly. Who say nah? So, is all stress bad stress? Is every stress bad? Madam, is every stress bad? No. You are sure? Is every stress bad stress? When you hear stress, immediately you think it's bad? Yes or no? Okay. There is good stress and there is bad stress. Next slide. So these two young men at Harvard, Yax and Dodson, created this law that as your performance and efficiency increase, your stress and anxiety do what? They do what? They also increase. Okay? Therefore, but there is a point of no return. As I stress you and demand more work from you, you continue to give me up to this point, the middle there, up to that point, that central point. Then thereafter, what happens? The law of diminishing returns will come in. The more I stress you, the less you can perform. Quickly now, let's see how this affects the human being. Next. Okay, so human function curve shows us that there is a point you can work, those of you who are workaholics, and there is a point you must stop. Now, the point where you must stop is clearly shown in that slide. You see the hump? Yes? Do you see the hump? That point in the middle. Up to that point, you can work till 8 p.m. at night, but thereafter, what do you see? Are you still in your comfort zone? Are you still in your comfort zone? No. After the comfort zone, what do you hit? Fatigue. That is when you must say to yourself, I am tired. I must go home. Whatever it is, stop at that point. Because beyond that point, what happens? The law of diminishing returns. The more effort you make, the less you achieve. The more mistakes you make in that document, and so on. And thereafter, after fatigue, what happens? Exhaustion. After exhaustion, ill health, blood pressure rises, headaches, neck stiffness, back pain, loss of appetite, all those things. And you are still not listening to your body, it is followed by a breakdown. What would that breakdown be? A heart attack or a stroke. And if it's a massive stroke, what happens beyond that point? It's underground, it's 6 feet, it's death. Is that clear? Next slide. So there are 5 categories of stress that I want to share with you quickly. Stress you can avoid. Give me an example. Madam, what is stress you can avoid? Okay, I'll tell you. Not starting on time to work in Lagos. You want to get to VI, you're at Yaba. What will happen next? Traffic. You are sweating. You are rushing. Whereas if you give yourself time to start early, you can avoid that stress. Stress you can modify. There are stressors that come our way. We can find ways to modify them by asking for help, by delegating, etc. You know all this from your management trainings. Stress you can contribute to, you cause the stress yourself. One of them is by saying yes to everybody. You have to learn to say no. It's not in our culture. But you must learn to say no. Okay? You have to learn to say to some people, I'm sorry, my table is full. I'm sorry, my resources are unable to accommodate your need. Uncle, we need 2 million to do the naming ceremony. Must you agree to the 2 million for naming ceremony? Or they say, Mommy, we need help. You have to learn to say, well, I can't give you 2 million, but I can give you how much? 100,000. Say it and not be ashamed, because you are saving yourself a major stressor. Okay? Next, please. So how do you rapidly reduce stress? I need to give you that skill as well. Next, please. Yes. Do I hit on it? Yes. Next, 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 and next. Thank you. The first step approach to reducing stress. Whatever it is that is the stressor, stop it. Stop it. Thank you. Breathe. Learn to breathe. Now you're all going to stand up for me. I promise you we shall stand. Now this is the standing phase. Please stand up, everybody. Let's exercise. You've been sitting. The sitting disease, remember? Okay. Now, when you have taken a deep breath, can we all take a deep cleansing breath on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold it. And out. One more time. In. Fill your lungs with clean air. Hold it. And let it out slowly. Don't go to sleep on me. And one more time. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, go. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and then out with a ha. Thank you. Remain standing, though. It's not over. Next slide. Just shake it out while we are talking. So, quickly again, you can exercise, like some of you said. You can have a massage. How many have had a massage in the last 6 months, 1 year? A massage, a good massage. Good. Excellent. A bath. How many have had a bath in the last 1 year? Hello? How many have had a bath? Come, madam. What did you do for a bath? What exactly do you mean? Okay. Okay. It's good to be rich, oh. Is this estate? So is this how it is? I'll change profession. Thank you, ma'am. Also, if you don't have a sauna, just fill your bath at home. That bath is meant for taking a bath. When you start and do a shower, that's a shower, you didn't take a bath. So soak it and put some nice smelling salts in it and soak yourself in it for 1 hour. Just relax and say life is good. You may sit now. Finally, a short video to end. I had more for you, but unfortunately, Women's Wing, you brought me all the way from my peaceful Kaduna to speak to you for 5 minutes. I'll speak for 5 minutes and stop there. So before I go, the last video, please.
Sunday house call, and the doctors are giving you great advice all the time about eating right and exercising, and today they have something else that they say will keep you healthy. It's sex. Really, Dr. Samadi?
Well, look, I think it's the best prescription for your health, and I don't think it's Dr. Siegel's Zitromax that's going to save you. I don't think it's Eric's Greek yogurt that he has, and with all due respect, Jamie, it's not the 3 days workout in the gym. You got to have sex, and that's what's going to save you. That's my prescription to you. What does sex do? It increases your immune system. It increases your IgA. It increases the endorphin, which is almost like a morphine, takes away the headache and everything else. You know what? It actually helps prevent prostate cancer in 20% of the time. So sex, and sex. That's my prescription.
3 times. Dr.
Well,
Siegel.
you know, studies actually back him up. Sex improves your self-esteem. Sex actually makes you sleep better. It decreases your stress. Sex is cardio. Don't just go on the treadmill. Do sex. Have sex a couple of times a week. Studies show out of England, I guess they're having more sex there. They say 2 times a week, it is a form of cardio. Orgasm decreases pain. It decreases cramping. The more you do, the better of this.
No.
It decreases prostate cancer.
Listen,
this is the way to go.
Twice a week is not
Immune
enough.
function.
Next week, we're going to talk about how many times you have to do it to burn the right calories.
All right.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Hello. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Charles Kujo. It was quite. I'm sorry that we brought you all the way from Kaduna for 5 minutes. We do. I know we will have a return visit. Do we agree? Because there's quite so much to learn, especially from the focus of the stress management perspective. And we will be calling you back. Thank you so very much for the lecture. Once again, we were running the theme on unlocking real estate potential for economic development. But we thought before we can unlock those potential, it is important that we unlock ourselves. And then we thought to start from the point of view of health. Because an healthy mind is, how do you put it, is a well mind, as they say. If you are not healthy, there's nothing that you can get done under the sun. And so that was why it was important that we dealt with that first. Now, while we started our lecture, our president came into the room, and he's the man of the hour because, like yesterday when they were talking, when our interim chairman was talking on Wednesday, for the works done by the past president, but more so much by the work done by this man and the Management Committee and National Council, we want to appreciate our president. Sir, can you please stand up for everyone to see you again and for our presenter to see you. Thank you so very much for joining us. We really appreciate you for making this a reality. God bless you. Sir, will you come up and address us for a few minutes, please? Thank you, sir. And sir, doctor, our president exercises. He dances. He dances. So he does get a lot of exercise.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. The video was wonderful. Thank you very much. Let me recognize the protein chairman and our committee and also our invited speaker. How? Doctor, it's just that the women has taken me unawares. The truth of the matter is that while we were planning for this conference, we wanted to bring a medical practitioner that will actually talk to us. Because if you look at for the past 2 months, we have lost so many of our members. And I asked myself the question, what is the problem? And from my investigation, it's just that some of these deaths could have been avoided. But because we are locked down and estate surveyors and valuers are not used to staying in a particular place for too long, and because of that toll on our body, so many people did not exercise and do what they were supposed to do, and we lost them. So I want to, on behalf of the council, ask we just give 1 minute silence for those that were lost during this period. Please, can we just stand up for 1 minute as a sign of honor? May the souls of our beloved members and all other saints rest in the bosom of the Lord. You know, you can see why we are trying to have other wings within NIGERIAN. The women is organizing their meeting and also have brought somebody to talk to us on health. The young estate surveyors and valuers are also doing the same. Like I said during the inauguration, please, let this not be a political platform. Let's avoid politics totally. That is one of the ways we are going to make this particular arm of the institution to flourish and prosper. Secondly, is for us to look at what is peculiar to the woman estate surveyor and valuer. What are those things that we think that the men are doing that the women are not doing good? And how are we going to meet up with the challenges? And one of them I know is for you to train and retrain. Number 3 is for us to also look at the profession. Where are we going? What are we doing that we are doing well? And what are we doing that we are not doing well? You have the right, you have the prerogative as a member of the institution and a member of the women's wing to say, no, council, this area we are going will not benefit the women. That is why we have you as a chapter, as an arm of the institution. You are still under the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, but there are certain things that the institution is doing that might not be in benefit of our women. And that is where you will stand up to say, let us do it like this so that the women will be incorporated into the plan that the institution is making. Having said this, I want to thank our doctor for a very powerful presentation. I'm happy that I attended. I do exercise, but I have seen now that there is another one that is called bed. I don't have bathtub in my bedroom. Maybe because of this lecture, I'll go and build one. But the only thing is that how will I get the soap and the scent that I will pour inside? Are you going to supply that one? Okay. And finally, is for us to encourage our women that you have to also do exercise. When I went out this morning, because we went to commence the sporting activity, and I found out that when it comes to this aerobic one, it's the women that are more popular there. And I'm very, very happy that our women participated. Please, it's good for us to do exercise so that we will not be fatigued. Apart from having the body fitted, it also gives you some mental alertment so that you put the body and the soul together. And I'm happy that we are doing that. We have listened to the doctor, and I'm grateful that I participated, like I said. In fact, I don't know why you brought some men inside. They would have allowed the men. This is a women program. But I can see so many men are here to participate, which means there are men that are ready to support you in your program. Please, as you finish this one, those of them that are here, when it comes to contribution for money, take their names and send your account number. Let them also send their their donation. They won't just come and listen to this lecture and go free. So as you are going, okay, I know why the past president is here. I just looked back and I saw our first lady. We were told yesterday that once you're a president, you're always a president. So once you're a first lady, you're always a first lady. So, SURVEYOR and Valor Linda, congratulations. And my past president, congratulations. You are a good husband. You followed your wife to this place. I'm happy. It's because you also married an SURVEYOR and Valor. Assuming I came here first, I would have advised those young ones that if they want to marry, let them marry SURVEYOR too, so that the thing will be good. So what you are going to do, for those of you who are also women, you also have to mentor those of them that are youths. Because if you don't, some of them may derail from the profession and from the societal problem that we have. Please, let your job not just be for yourself. Also look at the young ones, especially the female members. Make sure that you mentor them. Like I have told them now, I said, you have to look for somebody that is succeeding or have succeeded in this profession. Make the person your mentor. So you can also go now, look at them, look at the way they are going. If any of them is going wrong, because at the end of the day, they are going to come to become your members. And if you don't give them a solid foundation, it means that they will not build well. So on behalf of the National Council, I want to congratulate you. And please, I want to advise for those of us who are financially up to date, you have the assistant treasurer here. You have to be at the AGM tomorrow, so that when your matter is mentioned, we'll have a majority vote for us to go ahead with this arm of the institution. If you don't come, and we'll have a majority vote that said, no, we don't need this women wing, we don't need any youth wing, we'll throw it away, because that will be a majority vote. So please, I want to plead with you that tomorrow be at the AGM, those of you that are financially up to date, so that we'll support the motion that this particular arm of the institution will be established, and it will be in the Constitution. The young SURVEYORs and valuers will be in the Constitution, so that nobody comes tomorrow and want to discard it. On that note, I wish you a successful meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, can we appreciate him by just a round of applause? Please, let's be on our feet and give our president a standing ovation. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, our dear president. Thank you. Yes, sir. And we do want to assure you, part of our goals, strategic goals, is mentorship, and we will take it to heart very daily. Thank you very much, sir. Now, to continue our lecture, like when the president was talking about health, your health, doing exercise, and all of those things, one of the things that most health maintenance organizations will tell you is that they would rather prefer that you're on the preventive side than the curative side. Meaning they would rather keep you out of the hospital, because for them and for you, it's more expensive. And it is cheaper to stay healthy than having to go into the hospital. That's what most HMOs would want to allude to. And that's even the way to go. It's better you stay out of it, because you never know what you come in for. In fact, you know that they will say, even when you go to the hospital, even when to do checkups, there are some things they call nosocomial infections that you can pick just by going to the hospital. So it's better to stay away from there and just keep doing eating the protein with the vegetable and the meat without the amala. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, doctor. Now I want to call to the podium ESV Mrs. Olayinka Linda Patola Ajayi to give us our talk. It's going to be short because we want us to have an opportunity to really ask questions and really interact with each other. Thank you, ma'am.
The president of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, our own sir, Chief Okas Wiki, the interim chairman of the Female Estate Surveyors and Valuers, my own sister, ESV Bridget Oranye, and other members of the interim and pro tem administration that we have at the moment, our past president, my husband, Dr. Patola Ajayi, our fellows, the senior members of this great institution that are females, I want to recognize you, past chairman of branches, Ogun State, Kaduna State, some other states, you know, my own chair of the D branch, Mrs. Olabisi Demola Alade. I believe you are in the hall. God bless you for coming. Other fellows and associates, graduate members, students, ladies and gentlemen. And our men, thank you for supporting us. We appreciate you, sirs. God bless you. I can see my president of FIAPSI, our own prince, Adeniji Adele. God bless you for coming. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Like our doctor rightly said, our special guest, sir, we want to thank you so much for that talk. We appreciate you. You know, in Kuru, we don't say we observe protocol. You know, we only stand on the already established protocol. So thank you so much for coming. This morning, we have a very small task before us. You know, as like the Jumoke already said, wonderful moderator. You know, we're talking about repositioning the female estate surveyors and valuers in unlocking real estate potentials, even for economic development. And it's going to be interactive, but I just want to lay a wonderful foundation for us to be able to move on. Like, I want to start by congratulating us for the inauguration of the NIGERIAN female wing. That is a big one. You know, it's a big step in the right direction. Yes, if you want to clap, clap. We have been on this thing for years. And so we thank God that we are getting there. And I want to appreciate the interim, the committee that actually started and worked hard for this to be, and of which I am a member by God's grace. And let me use the opportunity to thank our interim chairman for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts on this our topic. It's a wake-up call to all of us, as estate surveyors and valuers, and so I want us to, you know, we thank God we are getting the deserved recognition. You know, we actually deserve it. We have made our own contribution, our own quota to the profession, and it's time that the women wing are actually recognized. And I will start my introduction. Where is my slide, Oga? Because I can see this. It's not working from, okay, it's working from here. Yes, I'm done with the protocol. By way of introduction, you know, women, we are multifunctional entities. We're very strong, capable of engaging in so many identified and unidentified potentials. And I want to give kudos to as many women out there who are the fundamental human reservoir of every society. You know, as they control both the non-monetary and the monetary economy. When you're talking about non-monetary economy, you're talking about, you know, subsistence, agriculture, bearing of children, domestic chores. You know, sometimes our men will wonder, and she's a full housewife, what is she doing safe? They forget the fact that we're doing a lot. It doesn't mean it's a lot of work, even staying at home. And then we play monetary roles too. We work like men work. We go to work. We are in employment. You know, some of us have our own firms. And so we work. And so in our society, in some other society, most societies, women are even regarded as currency, with which the political and economic alliances are cemented. Even in politics, you know, men cannot do politics without women. It's not possible. So in African setting, we see women play roles of peacemaker, symbol of beauty, you know, major model of character of children. She's the first teacher for any child. She's the first teacher, the sustainer, maintainer of home, and many more. I want to appreciate our doctor for that first slide, you know, video, telling us who we are, because that's what we are, and much more. The women gender is a very special gift from God for the replenishment, growth, and development of the earth. You know, let me tell you something. When God said, you know, even in the Bible, in the Holy Bible, for those of us who are Christians, You know, nothing was actually started until women were created. Nothing. The man was created and he was just there. And God said there should be an helpmeet. In other words, God is recognizing the fact that men cannot do it alone. It's not possible. So, then by way of definition, real estate, you know, it can be defined as land from the hard crust, you know, to the surface, and all that is existing up to the atmosphere, that is right from up, down, down, up. You know, so, and this, of course, encompasses water, soil, air, crops, structure, all living and non-living things. And it includes permanent improvement to the land, whether natural or man-made. You know, we talk about water, trees, homes, and all that. And development of real estate usually triggers economic activities, from the contractors to suppliers to vendors to artisans to the banks that we finance and all whatnot. And according to Professor Kemiti there, we see that real estate is the pedestal for economic growth and development. You know, and for Singapore and Dubai, today the nations are thriving because of their real estate development, and particularly tourism. For economic development, is the creation of wealth from which communities are realized. It is more than a job program. It's more than me going to work every day. It's much more than that. It's an investment in growing the economy, enhancing the prosperity and quality of life for all residents. The potential of real estate in nation development is well harnessed in Nigeria. It's not well harnessed in like developed countries, like I said, from Singapore, Dubai, and the rest of it. Next slide. Now about the female essay surveyors and valuers. You know, I was caught between the nice women wing, nice female wing. You know, pardon me, it's still referring to the same thing, whether women or female. Today's gathering of nice female wing is a celebration of great association, like I've rightly said. And there's therefore the saying that successful women inspire more successful women. You know, if you see a woman that has succeeded, that should be an inspiration. I'll be chipping in my own personal experiences as we go along. You know, when I was coming up as a very young surveyor, there are surveyors I look up to at that time. I remember when I was in school, I was always hearing of Mrs. Doyin Ojogbede, and I'll be wondering, how is she doing it? You know, how is it done? And you know, sometimes you now wonder, you now want to strive harder than even those ones that you can see. So as female essay surveyors and valuers, we can actually do so much. Can you give me the next slide, please? This is not working, okay? Yeah, the wake-up call for active participation of female essay surveyors and valuers in unlocking real estate potentials for economic development. Like I said earlier, we have been noted for self-oriented, detailed, enterprising, and being diligent. And I want us to hold those 4 words. Those are the key. You must make up your mind as a person that you want to succeed. Nobody is going to do that for you. You have to decide that you want to succeed. So it's important that you train yourself, you build up yourself. And I want to throw this challenge to all of us. Let me just be fast because of time. Next slide. Yes, we can see women leaders. There are quite a number of them. I won't bore you with that. Next slide, please. Yes. Yes. In our own institution, too, we can see female leaders. Can you go to the next slide? Because of time. Yes. And this I want to bring to our attention. The role of women in national growth and development. You know, according to the Global Council on Foreign Relations, Women and Foreign Policy Programs, the new digital report, growing economies through gender parity, which visualized data from McKinsey Global Institute Nigerian, gross development project could grow from 23%. In other words, if we really get it right, we can grow the economy from 23%. And that is talking about $229 million by 2025. So if you are saying 2025, well, 2001, that's just in 4 years' time. And so if we do what we ought to do, we can achieve that. But let me say that there are constraints and challenges, some of which we all know. There is employment discrimination, professional discrimination, position discrimination, discrimination in the access to training. Even in other climes, there is pay discrimination. Thank God in Nigeria, the female essay surveyor and valuer is paid the same thing as the male. We don't have that. Next slide. Yes, this is actually where we're going. The other factors that we see, we are mothers, family obligation, motherhood. I have seen that played a lot among us women. Once you start having family, then your career suffers, and it shouldn't be. As a woman, we need to just put in place some things to ensure that even when we start having children, our career does not suffer. And then, of course, female presence for other jobs related to construction, than construction jobs. I've discovered, even in talking with students, that when they are in school, they study estate management. When they graduate, they go to event planner, catering, and all manner of other things. Some of them buying and selling. And I always tell them, as an essay surveyor and valuer, you're actually sitting on a gold mine. That our stamp and seal is actually a gold mine, which if we use very well, we can make money from. And then, of course, there's gender discrimination. For instance, when I first started out, like my CV was read, I worked in the private sector for 12 years before I joined the Lagos State Civil Service. And I recall that during my youth service, as I got to the firm, the first statement I heard was that we don't take women here. It's a common thing. We don't take women here. We don't employ women in this firm. And I looked at myself. For some of us, that could be the beginning of discouragement. But for me, in fact, it was what spurred me on to say, hey, you don't take women, and I'm going to prove to you that I can be better than a man. So for us, there's always that voice telling us, no, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. And then, of course, there's lack of support, networking, and mentoring opportunities. And that's why I thank God for the women wing. Now we have the women wing. We can mentor the young ones. It's a job we must take seriously. Then lack of professional progression. Let me go to the social-cultural perception. It is perceived that the real estate, initially was perceived to be the men-dominated profession. I recall when I was in school in 1988, when I was graduating, we were just 3 female in a class of 40. But thank God that has changed today. So more of our girls need to be interested in this profession. They need to be mentored. And then, of course, low level of female self-confidence at the career level when compared to males. I'll give you a typical example. Presently in my office now, there's an assistant director, a female, that is supposed to be next to me. Whenever there's a job to be done and you call, the first thing is fear. She's afraid. She will now run to the toilet. I had to sit down and say, my friend, come, forget that one. There's nothing they want to ask for that there's no solution. There's always a solution to every problem and every challenge. So in our psyche, let's have that I can do it. There's nothing I can't do. And that will carry us on so far. Let's go on briefly. I have just, And then the strategy, I just mentioned a few of them. We need to take advantage of training, a lot of training. I'm not where I am today. I'm only here because of training, both within and outside the country. And then you can say, yeah, well, outside the country is expensive. Even the training in Nigeria. Let's take advantage of every opportunity to learn. There's always that opportunity. Let's just take advantage of it. And then, of course, we need to desire to make impact in life. You know, the driving force, the succeeding in life starts with you. And it starts from your inside. The desire to succeed, desire to make it, desire to make impact in life, desire to be somebody, you know, to a force to be reckoned with. That is the first thing. And then, of course, there is the I can do it spirit. Let's know that there's nothing you cannot do. No, I would just say that you know, there was a day, one of my pastors said something. He said, when he sees women running after men for money, then he paused. He called one and said, come, do you know you can be richer than that man? Is that not true? Don't you know you can be richer than that man? If only you just do the right things and with God on your side. And of course, I'll come to that final one, which is the fact that there is a God factor. You know, like the doctor, I was happy when the doctor was saying it. The first place you start off as a human being, whether man or woman, is from your spiritual being. Whatever you have achieved in the spirit, you can conquer in the physical. You know, you must first, you know, achieve that. Believe that you can do it. There's nothing you cannot do. And then, of course, now we carry you on. The next slide, quickly. In conclusion, there is overwhelming evidence that what we have been discussing as female essay surveyor is to make ourselves formidable, productive force. In other words, in your place of work, put in the best. Be hardworking, be diligent, be straightforward, be sincere. Time will not permit. Maybe when we start asking questions, I'll be able to share with you my experiences, even in the private sector. You know, where as in Daniel, I was as a branch manager, I was a co-signatory with my boss, with the owner of the firm. And it was either can sign. And most of the time, and you know, the checkbooks were with me. I was the one that was actually collecting all the money. And I never for one day took a kobo of this. To the glory of God today, we are still best and best. If Mr. Daniel needs anything, anywhere in the whole world, he will call me first. So that is what you need to go on. That's what you need to actually succeed as a woman. Yes. And so, go on. Yes, my recommendation, please, quickly. There is need for us to actually synergize more with women professional bodies. You know, let's learn from them. And then, of course, we need to mentor, like I said. There's even need for us to create scholarship. I'm sure our chairman is interim chairman is hearing. There are some brilliant indigent students. Let's collaborate and offer scholarship to them, to encourage them. And then, of course, there is need for us to, you know, remove all these barriers of culture, religion, you know, and all that. And I know that God will help us in Jesus' name. Don't mind me, I'm a minister of God, so when I talk, I will say in Jesus' name. You know? So, for us as women, honestly, I want to encourage us. I'm sure there will still be time to share some of this, my personal, you know, things. Because, you know, in 30-something years, these eyes have seen some things. And the ears have heard some things. And so I know what it is to actually be a female essay surveyor and valuer. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Ma. We deeply appreciate you. Like she said, you know, to make an emphasis on that. Ma, you know that there's a Yoruba as I said, ìkan ló máa múnú méjèèjì. Former Ogun State branch chairman, and in fact, no, my chairman will translate. She's my official translator in council, in our executive committee in Lagos State branch. She's my official translator. Madam Chairman, you help me translate what I just said later to the general population. Thank you, ma. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Thank you very much. Bless you, ma. Just to continue, when she spoke about train and retrain, we have no excuse. You might not be able to travel across the world. Thank God for God, because even the Bible says, in all things give praise. Thank God for COVID, because now we know there's access, unlimited access via the internet, online, to train and retrain. There are no excuses. Even on Coursera, EDX, so many opportunities to train online. There's no excuse anymore. In fact, for some of them that are fee-paying courses, you also have opportunities of scholarship online that you will take you through the process. So we don't have excuse not to train ourselves. We can train ourselves from even looking at other people. Then she also spoke about coming together. We can only get power by converging, not diverging. But there's a challenge from a report that was done. The greatest challenge that the black man has, well, sorry, I don't want to use the word black because we're not really black, of this color has, is that once we begin to prosper, we begin to diverge. We want to get away from the rest of us. I want to live in the hill with the big boys, so show every other person. I mean, if not for the power of wanting to show people, why will anybody have something you call generator, I better pass my neighbor? What's that about? You want to show that you say I'm better than you. And life is not about being better about the other person. It's about being striking towards excellence. I tell my kids, you are not struggling against, I'm not competing against my sister Olaki Odushiga or Bironke Alaba or any other. I'm competing against excellence. And I tell them, you're not competing against that boy, you're competing against 100%. So remove your eyes from the people around you and focus on what is the vision of excellence. That is what you should be pursuing. So that those things that they say about women, they're always doing themselves, will not become a statement in our own midst to the glory of God. So I want us to just encourage us as we continue. And about the earth, even me, yesterday I did massage. It's important to relax. I can't kill my... Thank you very much. Having said that, I would like to call onto stage my sister and friend, Niesv Motola Hamilton. 15 minutes. Now me know you, now me go do you 15 minutes.
Good afternoon, noble colleagues. I also have senior colleagues here standing on existing protocols. Please, can I have my slide? Thank you. Well, I have decided to pick a topic almost in the same line, but a bit different, which says repositioning female estate surveyors and valuers in the now real estate economy. And why I have taken that topic is just for us to know that the world is moving and we cannot remain the way we are. You have a lot of professionals all over the world. We are also professionals in our own light too, and we can't remain how we were. You were somewhere 10 years ago. Are you still at the same position, or are you moving forward? That is what we need to know. Next slide, please. Okay, why are you an estate surveyor and valuer? I'll use myself as an example. When I was young, I knew that I wanted to become something in life. I enjoyed traveling. So maybe because my father was always traveling, he was an estate surveyor and valuer. And I said, since this man, they travel all the time, I think I need to go with him. So I looked at it, and then normally when we are young, my mother takes us to the beach. I don't know how many of us used to do it. We put our leg inside sand and build house. That's where that day my mother said, it seems as if you want to go in the direction of your father, you might start building houses. I will build the one that is so big from my siblings. I said, no, you are going in the right direction. So I knew what I wanted. What is our goal? What do you want in life? What do you want to achieve? What is your vision? We are all surveyors. Why are we surveyors? I've had some junior ones telling us that I stumbled into estate management. If you stumble into estate management, then that means you are doing something that you are not comfortable with. It's like an afterthought. So coming in as an estate surveyor and valuer is something that you must have planned to achieve. That is your goal. How many of us have, as an estate surveyor and valuers, between this year and this year, I'll finish my schooling, I want to achieve this. We are all women. Definitely, I want to get married at this time. I had plans like that. I wrote it beside my bed when I was growing up. I said, by this age, I want to get married. I want to have children, but it didn't go that way anyway. And I want to face my career. And most of us, just like my senior colleague said, once we are married and we start having children, our careers suffer. It shouldn't be that way. If you have a goal in life, I want to be a surveyor. This is where I'm heading to. Am I going into the private sector? Am I going into the public sector? By the time I get to this stage, what do I want to do? And you have a vision that this is my target. This is where I'm heading to. And then you have your mission statement to say that I will get there and I will accomplish what I want to do. Next slide, please. So how do we achieve it? I'm using the SWOT analysis to say how we want to achieve this. What is our strength? We've had, all sorts of, we've had a lot of lectures, Wednesday, Thursday, telling us about diversifying into different parts of the field, different faculties. So what is your strength? What do you like doing? Are you good in property management? Are you good in facilities? There are some things you like doing. Are you good in calculation, valuation? What do you like doing? That's your strength. That is where you can now determine which part of being an estate surveyor and valuer that you want to do. Then your weakness. Me, I know my own weakness. If you give me calculation, in those days we used to call it arithmetic. If you give it to me, you have failed. I will just put it aside. So I know that valuation was not my own strength. That is a weakness. What is your weakness? Why are you doing what you don't enjoy? If you wake up in the morning and you feel, oh, this work where they do safe, I'm just tired. You are not in the right profession. Because if you are actually in the right profession, when you wake up every morning, you are happy to go to work. You are happy you are happy doing what you are doing. If you are not happy doing what you are doing, then you need to rethink. Those are your weaknesses. When you are not happy, that's your weakness. Know your weakness. Then opportunities. We have a lot of opportunities. We need to reposition ourselves in this economy. We have a lot. Facility management. I'm not sure we have, by the show of hands, how many of us are into facility management, oil and gas? It's a place that most of us have not even gone into. What are your opportunities? Where do you think you can make it in life? Those are opportunities you have. Not only oil and gas. Somebody spoke yesterday about mining. I'm not sure we have people into mining. We are female. There's nothing we cannot do. Even if we have families, we can balance our lives, the home front and our career. I knew that when I was going along my career path, I knew I also had a family, and I knew I had to balance it. So I knew that this percentage is for the home. This percentage is for my career. But I will never place my career ahead of my family. No. Then threats. Most of our threats, it's from us ourselves. Just like my senior colleague said, once you are married, you forget your career. That's a threat to you. Not only that, friends are also threats. Like I was listening to a message some time ago, and then this man mentioned, he said, you are like someone going to Surulere. You now meet a friend of yours at the bus stop. You greet yourself, how are you and everything. Oh, where are you going to? Oh, I'm going to Surulere. What about you? Where are you going?